The Corleone family stood as an empire in 1940s New York, their name synonymous with power, wealth, and an iron grip on a vast criminal underworld. At its heart was Don Vito Corleone, the revered Godfather, a man of wisdom and dangerous resolve. He dispensed justice and favors, expecting loyalty and a future debt in return. Don Vito had 4 children, the fiery Santino, Sonny, the kind but weak Frido, the disciplined Michael, who initially sought an honest life, and Connie, their only daughter. The story unfolds at Connie's lavish wedding, a vibrant Sicilian celebration. While guests reveled, Don Vito held court, granting favors on this sacred day, when no request could be refused. Bonassera, a mortician, sought vengeance for his daughter, failed by American law. Don Vito agreed, reminding Bonassera that true friendship demanded respect, not just convenience. Later, the famous singer Johnny Fontaine pleaded for a movie role, which Don Vito promised to secure through his loyal consigliere, Tom Hagen. Outside Michael, a decorated WWI veteran tried to explain his family's world to his girlfriend, Kay Adams, assuring her he was different, untainted by the mafia's dark dealings. Despite the festivities, the family's business was serious. Don Vito controlled gambling, political corruption, and union rackets, but he drew a line at the burgeoning drug trade. He believed drugs would corrupt his political ties and invite unwanted police scrutiny, threatening the careful balance he had built. This stance brought him into conflict with Virgil Sollozzo, the Turk, a ruthless drug trafficker. Sollozzo proposed a lucrative partnership, but Don Vito, seeing the danger and distrusting Sollozzo, flatly refused. This refusal ignited a powder keg, setting in motion a chain of events that would forever alter the Corleone family's fate. The rejection of Sollozzo's drug deal plunged the Corleones into peril. Sollozzo, desperate for protection, decided to eliminate Don Vito. One evening, Don Vito was ambushed and shot on the street, a betrayal orchestrated by his own bodyguard, Paulie. The city reeled, believing the great Godfather was dead. Michael, far removed from the family's criminal world, rushed to the hospital only to find his father dangerously unprotected. Realizing his enemies intended to finish the job, Michael, for the first time, took decisive action, moving his father and standing guard himself. This moment marked Michael's reluctant entry into the dangerous life he had always shunned. With Don Vito incapacitated, the hot-headed Sonny seized control. Consumed by rage, he ordered swift revenge, and Paulie paid the ultimate price for his betrayal. Sonny was ready for war, but Sollozzo had powerful allies, including the corrupt police captain, McCluskey, making outright retaliation perilous. Michael, observing the escalating chaos, felt an unfamiliar resolve solidify within him. When Sollozzo proposed a meeting with Michael, believing him to be the weakest link, Michael saw an opportunity. In a shocking move, Michael volunteered to kill both Sollozzo and McCluskey, a cold, calculated decision that stunned his family. This was the true beginning of Michael's transformation. The plan was meticulously laid. Michael would meet Sollozzo and McCluskey at a restaurant, a hidden gun awaiting him in the bathroom. The tension was palpable as Michael sat across from his targets. Excusing himself, he retrieved the weapon, his heart pounding, but his face emotionless. Returning to the table, he unleashed a swift, brutal attack, shooting Sollozzo and then McCluskey in cold blood. The restaurant fell silent, Michael's first murders sealing his destiny. He was immediately sent to Sicily, his family's homeland, to hide from the inevitable manhunt. In the quiet, dangerous Sicilian countryside, protected by Don Tomasino, Michael began a new, isolated life, haunted by his actions. In Sicily, amidst the ancient landscapes, Michael found a fleeting peace with Apollonia Vitelli, an innocent and beautiful local girl. Their traditional Sicilian wedding offered a glimpse of a life he might have had, far from the violence of New York. But happiness was short-lived. His enemies had not forgotten him. A treacherous bodyguard, Fabrizio, planted a bomb in Michael's car. Apollonia, unknowingly, got into the vehicle. Michael's desperate shouts were too late. She died instantly in the explosion, a cruel sacrifice to the war he had tried to escape. Heartbroken and consumed by fury, Michael's last ties to an honest life were severed. Back in New York, the war raged. Sonny, impulsive and reckless, fell into a trap set by his brother-in-law, Carlo Rizzi, who colluded with the family's rivals. Ambushed at a toll booth, Sonny was brutally gunned down. The Corleone family was in disarray, Don Vito devastated by the loss of his eldest son. Realizing Michael was the family's last hope, Don Vito orchestrated his return from Sicily. A changed man, hardened by loss and violence, Michael arrived ready to assume his destiny. Don Vito, wary of bloodshed, called a peace meeting with the rival families, agreeing to a truce. But knowing true security required Michael to take the reins. Michael, now the new Don, meticulously consolidated his power. He was no longer the reluctant son, but a cold, calculating leader. He began to systematically eliminate his family's enemies and traitors. The infamous baptism sequence saw Michael acting as godfather to his sister Connie's child, orchestrating a series of brutal, simultaneous assassinations. Barzini, Cuneo, Strachey, Tattaglia, and the treacherous Carlo Rizzi were all eliminated in one decisive stroke. Michael's rise was complete, his power absolute. The film concludes with Kay, Michael's wife, watching him from a distance, the door closing on her, leaving her to confront the chilling reality of the man her husband had become. Now fully immersed in the dark, unyielding world of the Godfather,